Hey, tonight, chase away those winter blues and stay up late for an all-new Saturday Night Live, hosted by Jennifer Garner with the music of Beck. Your local news is next.
A woman is kidnapped and dumped on the west side. She tells us about her ordeal. Peace rallies from the Big Apple to the First Coast Friendship Fountain. And police say it's disturbing. A person caught on tape doing nothing to stop a shooting.
You're watching NBC 12, a First Coast news station.
An accident involving 3 motorcycles and 2 cars sends 2 people to the hospital tonight with serious injuries. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Charlene Shirk. The crash happened earlier tonight on Blanding Boulevard near Argyle Forest. At one point, all 4 lanes heading north were closed down. First Coast News reporter Tim Stockman joins us now live from the scene. Tim, how did this all happen? Quite a mess out there.
Yeah, it is a mess out here, Charlene. We're still getting little bits of information and trying to piece this one together. As you can look out to the scene right now, you can see still a lot of emergency units out there working the scene. We have ambulances out here, and we still have a couple of the cars that were involved. 2 cars, 3 motorcycles, and what's being called a chain reaction. Not sure exactly what caused it. We do know that several injuries happened because of this. 2 men who were riding motorcycles were actually airlifted to Shands, Jacksonville. I'm told by an EMT on the scene, and you're looking at the helicopters right now. The EMT on the scene told me they were in serious condition, but he did not believe life-threatening condition. Now, there were 3 people who were riding in the various cars who were also injured, and they were taken by ambulance to the Orange Park Medical Center, and no word right now as of their names or their conditions, but that's, you can kind of surmise that they were taken by an ambulance instead of a helicopter. Their injuries weren't as serious as the men riding the motorcycles. No word on the cause as of right now, and no word also, since it is a Saturday night, whether or not alcohol was involved. But we are going to stay out here on the scene, Charlene. We're going to try to get all the information we can, and as soon as we know something new, we'll pass it on to you. For now, reporting live on Blanding Boulevard, Tim Stockman, First Coast News.
All right, thank you very much, Tim. We're going to have more information on this story as it becomes available. And checking your other top stories tonight, a 2-month-old is at Shands with severe burns to the face. Police say the infant will most likely be transferred to the burn unit at Shands, Gainesville. We're going to have more on this story as well. And a JSO officer along with 2 elderly people are in the hospital tonight after a crash. It happened near the Crystal's restaurant in downtown on East 10th Street in North Main. Police say the driver cut in front of the officer, and the officer just couldn't avoid them. Everyone, though, is expected to be okay. And it was a nightmarish ordeal for a young woman who didn't know if she was going to live or die. She was kidnapped and taken across the state at gunpoint and dumped here last night on the west side. A man found 22-year-old Tanika Copeland in the woods near Chuck Road on the west side tonight. She tells First Coast News her life was on the line.
He told me if I didn't cooperate, he would shoot me.
Well, Tanika's family drove to Jacksonville today to pick her up and take her safely back home. Well, there are 2 words to describe today's weather. Beach day. Yep, beach day. These folks were enjoying the day out at Jack's Beach. Some tossed around a football. Oh, it's getting to be that time of year. Yay! Others just took a nice stroll along the shore. But will the sun come out tomorrow? Let's check in now with First Coast News meteorologist Betsy Kling.
Unfortunately, it looks like we got a few months to wait until, or at least hopefully a few weeks to wait until we get the consistent warm temperatures like we had today. But things are going to be staying warm in the forecast for us. No major cold snaps expected. Take a look at temperatures throughout the southeast, still at the 60-degree mark throughout Jacksonville. Tonight's temperatures only bottoming out in the mid-50s. Look at the temperatures down in Miami, 73. Rain and clouds building off to the southwest of us will be moving in. We should be mostly cloudy in the morning, and by the afternoon, we should be seeing some thunderstorms. We're going to be talking about your Daytona forecast and the rest of your 5-day forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Betsy. Well, more than 100 anti-war demonstrators rallied for peace today out at Friendship Fountain. They observed a moment of silence, and signs saying no war were pretty prominent today. One woman tells us she was there to support a friend.
She's against the war, and I don't think there's any easy side to take. I feel like I have to support the soldiers because they're already there.
Now, in the Riverside neighborhood of 5 Points, nearly 100 people stood on street corners there protesting. They chanted peace, not war. And more than 100,000 people rallied for peace in New York City. Archbishop Desmond Tutu was one of those protesters. As you may know, he is teaching a course here in Jacksonville at UNF. Tutu says weapons inspectors should be allowed more time to search, and the U.S. should listen to what the rest of the world is saying. And in Moscow, protesters marched to the U.S. Embassy, and along the way, you can see this man burned a paper U.S. flag, and another protester stomped on the American flag. Well, here is the latest in our Target Iraq coverage for you tonight. The United States and Britain began reworking a draft resolution today to authorize force against Saddam Hussein. Now, diplomats say the final product may not explicitly call for war. And police are calling the incident disturbing. In news covering America tonight, this surveillance tape shows two men, now one apparently pumping kerosene, the other nearby. Suddenly, a third person rushes up, shoots one of the men, and then just runs away. But the man who was pumping the kerosene, well, he apparently finishes, pays, gets in his car, and drives off, leaving the victim behind. Police say the man did not do anything to help or even report the shooting. Well, the Florida Dental Association teamed up with the DCF and the Department of Health to offer free dental care to kids today. Children were checked and then given some goodies for their good behavior. I'm sure they were just healthy snacks in there. Organizers say the program is nationwide, but this year is a first for Jacksonville. Well, Little E is on a record-setting pace in Daytona. So what does this mean for the race tomorrow? Jeff has that story and more coming up in Saturday's Sports Final. And up next, it is a device that could help you shed those hard-to-lose pounds. I want to know what pounds are easy to lose. Well, especially, you know, after all that Valentine candy we may have eaten.
Who? You? Me? Haha, I ate tons of it. Well, we have some good news for you. It looks like temperatures are going to stay warm. Unfortunately, tomorrow we are going to be watching for the showers and thunderstorms to move in, but we'll be clearing out on Monday. We'll have that in your 5-day forecast. It's all coming up next on the First Coast Saturday Night News.
At first, she said her arm hurt. Then her family found out it was something much worse. How dangerous can this cancer be?
It will spread to the lungs and kill you.
Amber's parents put their trust in her doctor, but they put their faith somewhere else.
Please make my baby girl strong and get her through this.
Now Amber has a new chance at life and in some ways, a new arm.
She's my hero.
Miracle Mondays, this Monday at 11 on First Coast News.
If you're first in digital, first in high definition, you're watching NBC 12. And this is your First Coast News at 11. With Charlene Shirk, Jeff Prosser's Sports, and Betsy Kling with your dual Doppler weather.
Welcome back, everybody. It is estimated that 54% of adults in Florida are overweight and 19% of those are obese. And many are trying to lose the weight, but they're focusing on the wrong things. Well, there is a new device that tells you exactly how to lose that weight. And the best part about it, it is not a fad. First Coast News anchor Daryl Tardy explains doctors and even experts at the Food and Drug Administration say this one really works.
Bill Raines tries and tries, but he still has trouble losing weight.
You can change your diet, you can exercise, and all this other kind of thing, and it's just doesn't come off like you'd like it to.
To try and find out why Bill's having trouble, his doctor's office is trying out a new device called the MedGen.
I'm just going to have you take a hold of it right here and guide it into your mouth.
Bill breathes into the MedGen for about 7 minutes, and then it gives him an accurate readout of his resting metabolic rate, the rate his body burns calories while he's resting. It works by determining how much of the oxygen Bill breathes in is actually used by his body.
We always had to estimate, you know, what somebody's metabolism was or their body fat, and now we can really accurately test it, and having better tests allows us to do better treatment.
So Dr. Cedarquist decides to make some changes to his weight loss plan.
We can make some mild adjustments in some of the medicines that you're currently on.
Dr. Cedarquist says many of her patients are just like Bill, believing they burn more calories than they do. Now the MedGen can give them hard numbers, but even better, it tells them why they're not dropping the pounds.
People really feel vindicated. They're like, I knew it. I really have known that I have a slower metabolism than my friends.
Bill agrees and is optimistic the accurate metabolism reading will help him start shedding the pounds again soon.
It is really frustrating when you can't lose the weight. And I'm hoping that this is going to help.
Daryl Tardy, First Coast News.
Well, doctors say the MedGem gives them the information they need to help people who are losing weight. For instance, maybe their exercise plan needs some changing, or maybe their diet needs to be tweaked, or it could even be the medication that they're on. Maybe they need to change the dose. Well, there are several locations on the First Coast where you can use the MedGem, including doctors' offices and fitness centers. Well, if you have filled a prescription lately, you know they're getting as high as gas prices these days, but there are ways to make the amount you pay go down. Way down. Tomorrow night on First Coast News at 11 on your sides, Ken Amaro will show you how you can save big money on prescription drugs. Always a good topic. Everybody wants to know the answer to that one.
Yeah, there's been a lot of discussion about that lately, so hopefully there'll be some good answers from old Ken Amaro coming through.
Are you recovering from the Cher concert last night?
Yeah, it's the voice is going back and forth. You know, I have it for a little while and then it leaves, and yeah, it's been a little bit rough today. Let's take a look at how things are shaping up outside. Temperatures right around that 60-degree mark. We won't be going too much further down in the temperatures as we've got not only the moisture over us, we've got the warm air that's kind of stuck over us, but we are going to have clouds rolling in as well. Those clouds now out in the Gulf starting to form, as you can see right here in the northeastern Gulf. They're going to start to move our way as we head through the overnight hours, and we are expecting mostly cloudy skies by the morning. Atlanta is reporting rain showers. We've got rain showers throughout western panhandle of Florida. Pensacola even reporting some thunderstorms right now, and that's all ahead of a front that's going to be coming our way. This is Futurecast. This low pressure center here is the cause, the root problem of this entire thing, and it's all going to start to move to the east and move our way. We're going to have a nice push and pull of Gulf moisture that's going to help us tomorrow to have plenty of moisture for good heavy rains through the afternoon hours. And then once this front and some energy arrives a little later in the day, we could be getting some thunderstorms in here. So if you got the kids that are kind of worried about thunderstorms, just remind them we're getting back into that season, and I think tomorrow is going to be a good reminder of just how we get those afternoon thunderstorms. Not expecting any severe weather, but we could have some strong storms, so just something to remember as we go through the day. That cold front's going to be making its way to the First Coast and through the First Coast on Monday morning, but we've got clouds that's going to drop behind. So we may get a little ray of sunshine in here early on Monday, but the clouds will filter back in by the afternoon, and then once we get to the evening, that should all start to head back out. So rain and thunder for the day tomorrow. We're going to be especially seeing that in the afternoon. Temperatures getting up into the mid-70s throughout the area. We should see temperatures in the mid-70s out at the beaches as well, and then we'll start to get that rain-cooled air. That should take us down to about 60 degrees at 6. Daytona is looking like, well, they're going to get the race off to a good start. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to get the race finished tomorrow night, as the rain will be moving that way as well. But temperatures 78 tomorrow before the race. Southerly winds at 10 to 15 knots, 3 to 4 foot seas, and we're going to be seeing a moderate chop on the river. Beautiful day on the river today. 20% chance of rain early on Monday. Notice the temperatures, though, for the next 5 days, staying in the mid to upper 60s. No big cold snaps on the horizon, thank goodness, but it's not even spring yet officially, so we're keeping our fingers crossed. But this is the time of year when we really start that nice warm-up, so hopefully that will continue for us.
Well, it's good to get the rain now so we don't get into spring and summer and already start off dry.
That's a good thing.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Betsy. And by the way, we had told you at the top of the newscast that we would bring you additional information on that accident involving 3 motorcycles and 2 cars. It was over in the Blanding Boulevard near Argyle Forest, and at one point we mentioned that all 4 lanes were closed. I just want to let you know that we do not have any additional information other than what we told you at the top of the newscast, so we will, of course, keep you updated tomorrow at your news at 6. Well, nighttime road construction is meant to avoid inconveniencing commuters during the day, but our news partner in the Florida Times Union reports that construction on 295 is apparently violating city noise regulations. And in other headlines, Duval County educators are finding ways to curb 4th grade reading slumps. Oh, they're already in a reading slump at 4th grade. Well, those are tomorrow's headlines for you tonight, so check it out on your Sunday paper. And following First Coast News at 11 is, of course, Saturday Night Live. Well, here is a sneak preview of tonight's show for you.
Hi, I'm Tina Fey.
I'm Jimmy Fallon. We're coming to you live tonight with host Jennifer Garner and musical guest Beck.
Right after the real news.
Real news stinks. Fake news is funny.
Sometimes the real news is funny, especially when you're watching us.
They're weird.
That's going to do it for us, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Sports Final Saturday is coming up straight ahead.
Good evening, here with the final say on your Sports Saturday. This is sports final. Coming up, 1,000 reasons why JU played a big game tonight. The golf gods give us a dream pairing tomorrow, and Jack Del Rio reviews his first month on the job. But we start where Dale Earnhardt Jr. has finished all week. That'd be Victory Lane at Daytona. It started last Saturday night in the Bud Shootout. It continued Thursday afternoon in the Twin 125s, and guess who crashed the party again today at the Speedway? The Coolers 300 going to the hottest driver on the planet. Junior able to coast home in today's Busch race. That's because with 2 laps to go, Jimmy Vasser and Jason Keller started Demolition Derby. 6th caution of the day was the last. Race ends under caution with the Grade 8 car in the lead. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the February Busch race's first back-to-back winner since his dad 9 years ago.
Let's roll now. Ain't no reason to really worry. It's either going to happen or it ain't. We got a great car for tomorrow, but I'm a lot happier today than I was Thursday. I don't know why. Winning that 125 was great, but for some reason I felt like it wasn't even a grain of salt to the entire journey, you know, the entire speed weeks. And I want the big prize, and I'd be disappointed to do all this and not win it, of course.
And like father, like son, Dale Earnhardt won a track record 34 races at Daytona. Junior won his 5th today, but he's in position to do something his dad never did. That's sweep all 4 Speed Weeks races, the Shootout, Twins, Busch Race, and 500. He'll start on the front row and will be a favorite to win the race that eluded his dad for so many years. Junior also on the track today in his Winston Cup car. Final practice session with happy hour on today's schedule. Terry Labonte, pretty content. Fastest lap of the morning. Sterling Marlin, a 2-time Daytona 500 winner. Third fastest in today's practice. Next time on the Speedway, the racing's for real. The biggest 500 miles of the entire Winston Cup season.
I've never paid attention to times and speeds on a restrictor plate. I'm really just focused on handling, and the car is really good, but it can be better, and you know, we need to be better to catch a few guys out there.
Just trying to make the car drive better. Though we have the speed that I think we need to win the race, but I think we can put ourselves in a position to win the race, and sometimes that's all you can ask for.
Green flag racing at 1 o'clock tomorrow with afternoon thunderstorms on the way. Weather could have an impact on the day's activities. First Coast Sports will be live at the Speedway tomorrow at 6 and 6:30. Coming up after the break, we follow the bouncing ball. A milestone night for Hugh Durham at JU and a rocky road trip for the Gators on Rocky Top. But first, gentlemen, start your speculation bets. Here are the Vegas odds on tomorrow's race. Smart money's on Dale Jr., but remember, no driver has won all 4 big Speed Week races since the Bud Shootout's inception. Big fans of the free 6-pack have 15-1 odds on Rusty Wallace. We'll be right back.
If you see news happening, dial pound FCN on your AT&T wireless or star FCN on your Singular wireless to connect with your First Coast News.
From the Bet You Didn't Know file, the Jags' new era of youth and enthusiasm is actually older than the old staff. Average age of Jack Del Rio's assistants, a year older than Coughlin's crew a year ago. Del Rio's staff also averages 2.5 years more NFL experience per man. It's been almost a month to the day since Jack Del Rio became the 2nd coach in Jaguars history, and he spent just about every second playing catch-up.
We have a need for speed. I think overall, particularly on defense, we need to upgrade ourselves in that area. We cannot become a premier defense unless we get a little bit faster.
District championships tonight in girls high school hoops. We start with Bartram Trail at Nice in a battle of St. Johns County. That's Allison Gabrielle with the 3 for the Lady Panthers, but the Lady Bears just too strong tonight. Casey Wood hit the jumper. Bartram Trail wins 48-30. District 1 6A final tonight. Mandarin at Sandalwood. The Lady Mustangs' Luel Cais is wide open behind the defense for the layup, but Sandalwood would smell what Tierney Rock is cooking. One of the city's top players leads the way as the Lady Saints win 60-40 and go marching to the next round of the playoffs. The Reebok girls also winners tonight. With Brett Nelson, Anthony Roberson, and Matt Walsh, Billy Donovan's got some shooters. Today he had some missers. The Gators at Tennessee, where Nelson, Roberson, and Walsh combined to go 3 for 22 from the field. Fast start for Florida. Pass. Shot. Justin Hamilton hit 3 3-pointers in the first 5 minutes. In fact, Gators built an 8-0 and 18-9 lead. SEC's leading scorer, though, Ron Slade, pulls up from somewhere high in the Smoky Mountains, Tennessee, within 1. Matt Walsh did hit a long 3-pointer of his own. Florida led by 1 at halftime. Tennessee never grabbed the lead until John Higgins' 3-pointer with about 5 minutes left, and they never trailed after that. 66-59 the final. Gators was 20-4. Vols have won 6 straight and are playing their way into the NCAA tournament. FSU hosting Georgia Tech this afternoon, and the Noles would go AWOL. Adam Walaskowski with just 1 3-pointer before today's game. He'd have 2 on the afternoon. Noles had 45-30 at the break, and they go on to win 71-64. Anthony Richardson leading the way with 18. FSU, with firm NIT hopes, are now 12-10. JU's Hugh Durham coaching in the 1,000th game of his career. Dolphins tonight hosting Florida Atlantic. James Daniels led the way with 22 points, and JU just hammers FAU 89-54. Dolphins now 12-12 on the season. University of North Florida falls at home to USC Spartanburg. The Lady Ospreys did pick up a win. Edward Waters won on the road today, and the Georgia Bulldogs beat Vanderbilt today. Dogs now 13-7. Big college baseball weekend in Gainesville. Gators beat Miami today after losing last night. FSU has beaten Evansville 2 in a row now, and JU a loser on the road at South Florida. Sports Final puts a wrap on it when we come back.
Closed captioning brought to you by JEA. Remember to check the insulation in your attic. If you don't use your heating and cooling a lot, insulate to R11. Otherwise, insulate to R19.
So much for inferiority complexes. Less than a week after Phil Mickelson was quoted as saying Tiger played with inferior equipment, Tiger went out and grabbed the 3rd-round lead at the Buick Invitational. Brad Faxon had it, but lost it along with his putting touch. Fred Couples making a run. He hadn't won in over 4 years, but he's in the top 5. But the story tomorrow will be Tiger paired with Phil Mickelson in the final round after Mickelson pulled within 2 and Tiger leads.
I realize that I'm in the last group tomorrow. It'll be a challenge to overcome, but I wanted that challenge. I wanted to have the opportunity to play with Tiger.
We both have had a lot of success on this golf course, and you know, if you were to pick 2 guys to play well on this course, I think you'd probably pick us too.
Best golfer in the world right now, maybe Ernie Els. He's leading again as well. That's going to do it for Sports Final Saturday night. See you tomorrow.